What's up, everybody? Thanks for taking a couple minutes to check out my channel. Today is September the 6th and today is honey pulling day. About a week ago I came here and I checked some moisture content, and I did a video on this, and I'll leave a link to that right up here, to where I came and I checked a couple of these supers, and I had a reading of I think like 18% and 17.25% moisture in some of the capped honey, and I checked one uncapped and it was at about 20. It's been about a week of really hot and dry stuff, and I need to get these honey supers off, extracted, and back on here because the fall goldenrod is starting to come out really heavy. You can see the bees, they're bringing in the pollen from there like crazy. If you check those bees out, I don't want to take a sting before I even start this, but they're bringing back tons of pollen. So I need to get these supers off that have honey and get it extracted and get this done with. It's supposed to be smoking hot today. I need to get this rolling. I'm going to get my fume boards going. I did a video on this too. If you want, the first time I tried this went really well with the fume boards and the honey bee gone. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this one if you want to check that out. But I'm going to get these fume boards on here, get them doing their thing, pushing the bees out, and I'm going to get some air over here to blow any remaining bees out. The fume boards take the vast majority of the bees out, and I know I got some wild comb in there. I'm going to try to get it into that stainless steel pot. Supers will go on here, take them home, and then check the moisture content on them when I get home. All right, so I made it back home with a little bit of honey. Everything didn't go 100% as planned. The one thing that did go as planned was the heat. Man, that baby was hot. I'm glad to be in here where it's a little cooler. But within a week, the bees had, I don't know if they ate it, they were robbed out or something, but a lot of the honey that was there last week was not there. The one chunk, I think I showed it in the video before, if you watched that, there was a hunk of wild honeycomb, and it was like full of honey, all capped off. That was almost completely empty. There were just a few cells that had honey, so the wild comb was completely empty. I got 7 supers here, but they're not even close to full. But I took what I could, and I shut my fan off. I'm gonna, for noise level, but I'll run this fan for a good 24 hours. I have a dehumidifier over here. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll check the moisture content, and we'll see if it's good to go. I'll start extracting. Got my uncapping thing here, and I'll get my motor set up on here. And then once it drains into the bucket, I have like paint filters. I bring them over here and I hang them on this bar. I pull the paint filter up out of here and hang it on this bar. Hopefully I'll get to show you all this stuff tomorrow. And this is also my makeshift physical therapy room. I still have my pulley set up here for my shoulder. I still do a lot of stretching and stuff on my shoulder. So we'll see how this looks tomorrow. If it's all good, we'll do some extraction. Okay, so today's extraction day. I have checked this for moisture content, this top box and the second box down. They're pretty good. I will periodically check some frames as I go down through here. Basically, I'll take a frame from here over to my uncapping tank. This little screw holds the frame while I uncap it. And down here, this is basically just a queen excluder on some pieces of 2x4. Holds all the wax cappings and lets the honey drip through. It's basically a sink tub. And then it just drains through and hits this 5-gallon bucket right here. It has a screen, a paint strainer in it. I'll take the uncapped frames, put them in my handy dandy extractor. This will hold 9 frames. I love this extractor. It's a Hilco. Excuse me, Hilco. And it'll do 9 frames, medium or small at one time, or it will do 3 large frames where you have to flip them though. But this will extract both sides at the same time. And then I got my bucket here. This extractor is pretty cool because it tilts along the bottom here, slopes downwards here, and then the honey gate here is right, it's actually slightly below, I think, the bottom of the tank, right exactly flush, I guess, but it drains out very nicely. And then once this bucket fills up, I'll pull the bucket over to here, set it here, and then I'll pull the paint filter up here and hang it up here with a couple zip ties and let the thing filter out here. So I'm going to get started here. I'm not going to show doing every single thing because it's a lot of repetitive process. And I'll get one uncapped and start loading this tank up here. Okay, so I got a completely capped frame of honey right here. Both sides of it are completely capped. Set it on that screw, it holds it nice and sturdy. And I like using this knife. I've tried all kinds of things to cut the wax cappings off. I have tried this type of knife, I like it, and I use that and this scraper. I've tried an electric knife and other scrapers. One thing I haven't tried was a heated knife yet. I'm not sure how well they work, but this is what I'm down to right now. Basically, I don't get too fussy with this. I just cut that off, get that down into the uncapping tub. Whatever the knife gets, great. Whatever it doesn't get, I just scrape it quickly with that little comb. Do the other side. Got some burr comb here. That one's uncapped. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. Set that frame in here. They lock in here pretty well. Hopefully you can see down there. It locks the bottom in, and the top rests right against here. So I'm going to do, I will uncap 8 more frames here, load this thing up, and while this thing starts spinning, I can uncap 9 more frames and have 9 more frames stacked up here ready to go into the extractor when these are done. So I'll show you when I get everything ready to go. Okay, so I got 9 frames in here ready to go. Here's my uncappings here. There's already honey dripping out of here. And there's already honey pouring out of here without even turning the extractor on. I'm gonna start this extractor. Always start out slow with this thing. Unless you have everything perfectly balanced, it'll wobble. I try to get it going as fast as I can go without getting like a completely uncontrollable wobble. It's bolted down pretty well right now to this piece of 3/4 inch plywood to half a sheet. If I get to build a new house, I'll have a permanent place to do my honey. That'll be awesome. Alright, now it's spinning. This honey is pretty warm in here right now. It's probably close to 85 or 90 degrees in this room with that dehumidifier running. It gets pretty warm. That honey's pouring out of there right now. That's crazy. Alright, that's one nice thing about having nice warm honey. It flows really nice, and I know that my moisture level is pretty good too. So I'm going to get this thing cranking up and uncap 9 more frames in here. Okay, so this is spinning at full speed right now. It's hardly shaking at all, just a little bit. But it's almost done. It's really quiet. And still got some honey flowing out of here. Probably have at least 2 gallons in there right now. When this is full, I'll show you how I pull that strainer up out of there. I got 9 more frames ready to go here, ready to go into the extractor. And it's just a repetitive process. I build lots of things and try to make stuff up, but this is one of those things that actually really worked well. And I got like, I think the tub was 42 bucks, and I got a couple pieces of scrap wood in it. And it's a really, for that much money, it's a really nice uncapping tank, unless you want to spend a bunch of money for a stainless steel one. So this bucket's almost full. This is the one time where you want to shut this honey gate. Stop the flow. You don't want to keep that shut though. Slide this bucket out of the way. In with another one ready with the filter. Open the honey gate back up, and away we go. So now I'm going to take this bucket over to here. Okay, so I got a zip tie ready here. Pull the end of the filter through the zip tie. Pull it tight. All right, a little closer look. Just got it zip tied here, drain in here. It's filtering out. Everything's good to go. Once that's done, put a lid on it, and I'll be ready to bottle it up. All right, the second bucket's starting to fill up. Once I get everything extracted, I'll show you the total as best I can. Just from the uncappings, there's probably at least a gallon in there right now. I would say it's about a fifth of the way up in a 5-gallon bucket. And I'm assuming I'll get at least 10 gallons or so, but pretty good haul. I'm gonna get these right back on the beehives today because the goldenrod is starting to come on and they'll be able to fill those things back up, hopefully. Okay, so I'm wrapping things up here. I got the final bits draining out here. I got all my honey supers. They're out in my truck ready to go back on the hives. This is all disassembled. I'll take this over and just let the bees clean this out. The bees will do a much better job than I can do, and then they get to just recycle all the little bits of honey and stuff. All they'll let there is the wax. Will be about all that's left over. Little bits of wax. They'll do a good job of that. Same thing with all this stuff here, these cappings and stuff. And this is the tote lid I had, just catching all the stuff dripping out of the bottom of the supers. So this is still draining. I got about 2 gallons in there right now. I wouldn't doubt if I get up to about 3 gallons once this all drains out of here. It's surprising how much honey will come out of these cappings sometimes. Got about 1 gallon there, and I got 2 full buckets here, 10 gallons. So I'll probably have 13 to 14 gallons. The white stuff on top, that's just air bubbles coming up, and it leaves like a foamy top. This one has been setting longer, so you can see more air bubbles have come up. This will continue to do the same thing. When I bottle this stuff, when it gets down to that real foamy stuff, I always just keep those bottles for myself. People don't want to, people don't want to buy stuff that looks like that. But yes, again, all this stuff, it'll go to the bees. They'll clean it all up once this is drained, and they'll just let a bunch of wax capping left over for me. Even these filters, they'll clean these filters up real nice. It's just a waste of water and time trying to clean those things by yourself. Just take it, hang it up, and let your bees take care of it. They'll get some free food too. Not free, they actually made it in the first place. So I'm going to get this stuff all cleaned up, get my supers back on, hopefully for a fall flow. If you made it the whole way through this video, I appreciate it. If you got any useful information or you just enjoyed it, if you could take a second to give me a quick thumbs up or a comment, I'd truly appreciate it. Hope you all have a blessed day and stay safe, everybody.